So good afternoon, Mr. Harris.
Good afternoon, Mr. FLansiquot.
We're going to continue our work. Our focus is the major work that we've been doing through grades K through 2 grade band and working on developing our understanding of the fundamental math that we're presenting to these students. What we're trying to do is make a connection to help students develop their understanding of subtraction with whole numbers. So, if we look at the problem we have on the board, let's read it together.
So we have 31 minus 18.
Minus 18. All right, so looking at that problem, what is the whole?
The whole would be 31.
Our whole is 31. And what is the part that we know of?
We know that we are going to take 18 away from that.
So that's the part that we know that we're going to be taking away. And with this subtraction, what are we trying to find?
We're trying to find the difference or the answer to the problem.
All right. So one key thing to remember with working with our students is that when we're using the chips and dots method, that what we're going to represent on the chip and dot method is the whole. So I'll take my whole. For subtraction, we're going to take our whole and represent it on a chip and dots. So our whole, I would represent it this way. All right? So how many tens and ones do we have here?
We have 3 in the tens place and 1 in the ones place.
Yes. So we have 3 tens and 1 ones. When we're looking in the vertical process, one key thing we need to have our students do is have them focus on the whole. And one strategy that we can use is the magnifying glass strategy. So I like to let students know that when they're solving a subtraction problem, they're an investigator or a detective. And a detective has one tool when it's looking for fingerprints and other stuff. What's that tool that they use?
The magnifying glass.
They use the magnifying glass, and the magnifying glass helps them focus their attention. So we want our students to focus their attention on the whole. Here's my magnifying glass, and you have to excuse my drawing. It's not the best, but that's my magnifying glass. All right? So we're focusing on the whole, and we're going to see if we need to make any changes to this whole when we're doing the subtraction. All right? So first what we're going to do is we're going to look at our ones place. Can we take 8 from 1? Can we take 8 from 1?
No, we cannot.
Okay, from this 1, 1, we can. So what should we do?
We're going to need to decompose one of the tens from the tens place.
So we need to decompose one of the tens from the tens place. So we would decompose this 10 and draw it this way, showing that we're taking this 10 and representing it as 10 ones. And when you're using this process and decomposing a 10 into ones, it's key to use your 5 groups to help students see that you're decomposing this 1 10 into 10 ones. All right? Another key point to remember is whatever we're doing on our dots and chips model, we need to do it in our vertical model. All right? So, how many tens do we have?
2.
So we have 2 tens, so we need to show it over here. Our 3 tens came 2, so over here our 3 becomes a 2. And how many ones do we have?
11.
We have 11 ones, so our 1, 1 now becomes 11. So now looking at our problem, are we ready to subtract?
Yes, we are.
We're ready to subtract. So let's look at our 11 ones. Can we take 8 from our 11 ones?
Yes, we can.
We can take our 8 away. 5, 6, 7, 8. Once we've taken away these 8 ones, how many ones are we left with?
3.
3 ones. So we take our 3 ones and show it here in our vertical model. 3. All right, let's look at our tens. We had 2 tens, and we're going to take 1 10 away from this 2 tens, and we're left with how many tens?
1 in tens.
1 in the tens place. And then our answer is
13.
13. Is that clear? And we can see how our magnifying glass helps us focus our attention on that whole number and work through the process. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take 2 minutes and work on your problem set that you have in front of you. It's work on problems 1 and 2. And remember to use the strategy that we just went through, using our magnifying glass to focus on our whole and represent it with our chip and dots model with our place value chart. When you're done, you can just lay your pencil down to let me know you're comfortable. So you're done, let me take a quick look at the work we did. Okay. So looking at your first problem, I can see you didn't need to regroup and you were able to solve that problem. And then looking at the second problem, okay. Yes, I see you did focus, use your magnifying glass to focus, and you did your regrouping process and was able to come up with the answer. Very good job. So, looking at the work we did today, can you see how this strategy can help our students focus and with subtraction?
Yeah. With the use of the magnifying glass, it really helps them to focus on the operation that they need to use within the problem of subtraction.
Okay? And another key thing that it tends to do, it helps to remind them that the minuend is a whole, and it's from this whole that they are going to be taking the part from. All right? Anything else you see that it helped you realize?
Yeah, I like it because in the past I've taught students to put the tens in one place over the minuend,
Okay.
which then had them to isolate the numbers.
Okay.
So they only saw it as an isolated number and not as a whole. So I also like how the magnifying glass also focuses on like the minuend as a whole number that you're taking something from.
All right, very good point. And one thing that just reminded me also is that another error that students tend to do is seeing that they can't take the 8 from the 1 and then they switch it to a format putting the whole at the bottom. So having them focus on that whole helps them to work within that parameter. And another thing that it also do, it helps them to being focused to show how regrouping is happening throughout the problem. So looking at the work we've done today, we can see how this is a strategy that we can use to help our students as they work through subtraction. And we will continue our lessons in our next session.